Who are the people that you are specifically called to reach with the message that you carry? Because you're not called to reach the entire world.
Do you want to harness the power of the internet to reach people with the good news of the gospel? Well, you're in the right place.
We're Bruce and Lindsay, and we are passionate about helping you leverage the digital landscape to disciple nations.
Join us and other Kingdom messengers as we share tech and tools to help you launch and grow your Kingdom channel.
If you were, there's no need for me, there's no need for Bruce, because you got the whole world covered. We're gonna go on vacation while you handle reaching the whole world, right? No, it's not how it works. You're not called to reach the whole world. And I'm not called to reach the whole world. You're called to reach your world. And I'm called to reach my world. Because if you're reaching your world, and I'm reaching my world, and everyone on this call, and everyone in this workshop focuses on reaching their worlds, then the whole world will be reached, right? Now, I'm a big believer in the power of mentorship and coaching, so you'll probably just hear me mention like some of my mentors as I'm sharing this weekend because they're so part of my story and I carry what they've poured into me, so you'll hear some of that. But in February of 2020, I was sitting in a group coaching call with my business mentor, Pedro Deo, and he leads this powerful mentorship movement for Kingdom entrepreneurs. And we were sitting on this call on a Zoom like this, and Pedro was sharing about defining your audience, and it's what he calls who is your who. It's the answer. It's what he wants us to answer. The question is, who is your who? So I would love to tell you that on this coaching call, I was struck by a bolt of lightning, and I was just like, I know who my who is. And I would love to tell you that like the truth of all of this just set me free, but I was waiting for a feeling, right? So I chose frustration over freedom in that moment. I was so frustrated on this call because it was like, I don't know who my who is. I don't know. I mean, it could be anyone because everyone needs peace. And I didn't know really what Pedro was like wanting me to do. Like, how do I find my who? How do I know who that is? Because it feels not full of compassion almost to exclude people. It felt like exclusive to me. I'm just not gonna like worry about reaching all of these people. I'm just gonna worry about reaching my world that felt very small at the time. Again, this was before I was thinking about leveraging the digital landscape. So I was thinking like, is it my neighbors? Is it my friends? Like, how do I focus this in? I didn't know how to best share my message of living in perfect peace because I was trying to reach everyone with it. I thought I had to reach the whole world. And when it came down to it, I became paralyzed in launching my message to the whole world because it felt so big and it felt so vague and it felt so unclear. And I let that feeling of not being clear keep me overwhelmed and intimidated. So again, I would just launch my message into the future somewhere. Well, maybe one day I'll write a book. Or maybe one day people will invite me to their events, and then I'll know that I'm supposed to share this message. Interestingly enough, on this group coaching call, I realized something. Even Jesus had a who. In Mark 2, the Pharisees, the religious leaders, they asked Jesus' disciples, they're like, why is Jesus eating with the tax collectors and sinners? It was offensive to them. Why is he including them in his life? And on hearing this, Jesus said to them, it's not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. He said, I come not to call the righteous, but sinners. Jesus had a message, Jesus had a who, and he lived in clarity, and it kept him focused on the mission because he was clear on those two things. He knew his message and he knew his who. So he was undeterred by the enemy's temptations in the wilderness. He was unapologetic about who he spent time with. He was unfazed by the haters, the trolls, right? The criticism he received. I mean, can you imagine if Jesus had a Facebook? Like, can you imagine the comments that he would get? But he was undeterred by it. He even spoke in parables, the language that he used, the stories he told. He did that to help his who understand his message. He did the heavy lifting for them so that they could understand. He didn't just, speak over their heads and say, well, hope they get it. So Jesus had a who, but I still didn't know my who. And I was so easily distracted all the time by everything that seemed like a good idea. I was like, maybe it's a book, maybe it's an event, maybe I just need to wait for people to invite me to speak at their church. So I wasn't taking action on anything. And if I was taking action, I was never really finishing it. I think I've got one chapter of a book somewhere on my computer written. So back to that moment on that call, Pedro's talking about finding your who. And here's what I did. Maybe you've been in this situation before. Lord, give me a fresh word. I need clarity. I need a word from you right now. I need confirmation. I need you to nudge, one of my prophetic friends to text me something right now. All the things that we kind of like pray or yearn for in those moments, like, just give me a fresh word, Lord. Just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do and I'll do it. And the Lord, in his kindness, interrupted my frustration, and he said, okay, get off the call. Go pick up your journal and review your prophetic words. Because Bruce and I, we believe strongly in the prophetic, and so we do our best to keep record of every prophetic word that we receive. And so I went back to that journal, and I'm flipping through, and I came across a word that I had gotten 3 years prior by my friend Christy. So 2017, just so you can keep track of the timeline. It's 2020. I have my burnout breakdown and started breakthrough in 2018, but this word came in 2017. It's Rosie the Riveter, we can do it. And she said in her card, she says, you will lead other Rosies, teaching them and inspiring to take their place, and you will share about the freedom of the gospel of grace and the power of walking in the Spirit. I didn't have the message of perfect peace in 2017. I hadn't experienced the burnout and the breakthrough. But in 2020, I had this message stirring in my heart because I was carrying what I had journeyed through with the Lord. And because God is not bound by time, he had already showed me who my who was 3 years prior. And the Holy Spirit, my helper, was bringing it back to my remembrance in that moment. And he was saying, I told you. I already told you. It's right there. You don't need a fresh word. I've already been speaking this. I've been awakening your spirit. I've been doing a work in you all these years. And something is about to come into fruition.